Okay, guys. Lesson 1.5 on Tuesday was adding and subtracting with negatives. Today we are multiplying and dividing with negatives. What I love about multiplying and dividing with negatives, you just have to know the rule. There's no which number's bigger or anything crazy like that. It's just knowing the rule. So you'll notice what I have written in the notes. The product or quotient. What do I mean by product?
The non-negative, the positive.
No. Product, what type of operation is that?
Add.
Not add. Multiply. Okay.
Wait.
So the product, so when we multiply, or quotient, what's quotient? That's when we divide. So the product or quotient of two numbers with the same signs is positive. So if you look at the pink paper I gave you, a positive times a positive is a positive. A positive divided by a positive is a positive.
Where are you at? Wait.
I am on multiplication and division.
Oh, okay, I see.
Now, I just said when you multiply or divide two numbers with the same signs, you get a positive.
Yep.
So positive times positive, positive divided by positive is a positive. What about two negatives?
It's a positive.
Here, I'll give you this one that you ripped the eraser off of on day one. No, don't, both of you. You guys are on my pencil lending no-no list.
I didn't do that. I didn't do it. I swear it fell.
I both gave you pencils
Yeah, but I gave mine.
that had erasers, and then when you gave them back, either of them had erasers, and the erasers were out on the floor.
Wait. Both of them didn't have erasers?
Yep.
I don't remember doing that. It would have been fun. Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. If you borrow a pencil from someone, you should return it in the same way it was issued to you. So if I give you a pencil to borrow, and it has an eraser, it should come back with an eraser, not an eraser popped out.
Yeah, quit eating.
So, no, that's the thing. You didn't even eat them because I found the erasers laying on the
It would
floor.
have been funnier if you didn't say that you found them on the floor, then I could have said
Sorry. Here's my frustration. It's
No.
my frustration with it is you guys destroyed the pencils for no reason, just because, and that's not okay with me. Okay. Multiplying, dividing, two same signs, you get a positive. Where I was headed next, what is a negative times a negative? A positive, because it's the same signs. What is a negative divided by a negative?
Positive.
A positive. It's the same signs. Okay, the other rule here, the product or two quotients with two numbers with different signs is negative. So when I multiply a positive times a negative, I get a negative. When I multiply a negative times a positive, I get a negative. When I divide, I get negatives. Okay? You can use the rules up here at the top of your notes. You can use the rules on your bin on the pink paper. You just need to know these. Okay, let's look at this. Example 1. First of all, what do parentheses mean? Parentheses mean we're going to multiply. Okay, put it up, Robbie. Put it in the backpack. Just leave it down there. Don't need it. Okay, parentheses mean we're going to multiply. So, 6 times 15. Do you know what 6 times 15 is? And if that's a no, well, I'm going to set it up. 6 times 15. What's 6 times 5?
30.
30. So I'm going to put the 0 here. Carry my 3. Then I'm going to do 6 times 1.
It's 6. Then plus 3.
Plus the 3 is
9.
9. So 15 times 6 is 90. Okay, look at your paper. What is a positive times a negative?
A negative.
A negative.
So that's a negative 90.
So negative 90. Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting it now.
Next one. Negative 12 times negative 0.2. Well, I'm not going to worry about the signs for the moment. I'm going to worry about 12 times 0.2. And really, do you know what 12 times 2 is? Maybe, maybe not, right? If you don't, okay, do the math. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. How many numbers after the decimal did I have? There's one number to the right of the decimal, and that is the 2. So how many numbers do I have after my decimal here? There's 1 up here. There's 1 down here. So 12 times 0.2 is 2.4. Positive or negative?
It's, wait. No, wait.
A negative
Times a negative.
times a negative
Positive.
is a positive.
So it's positive 24 or 2.4.
Positive 2.4. Okay. How do I multiply fractions? Parentheses mean multiply again, yes? When we add and subtract, you have to have a common denominator.
Yeah, common.
Okay, common something. Okay. When you add and subtract, you have to have a common denominator. When you multiply, here's the good news. You don't have to have common anything. Multiply or crossed. Top
Wait.
times top.
Oh, 21.
7 times 3, 21. Bottom times bottom.
50.
10 times 5 is 50. Okay, Kate's not allowed to answer this part. What's my sign? We had a negative
I think Robert should answer.
times a positive.
I answered already. So.
Hey, you know what? You guys all have the information in front of you. You're all going to talk to me at some point or another. Lily, what's a negative times a positive? A negative. So this answer is negative 21/50. I just thought I circled that before I should have. If it can reduce, you always should reduce. Okay. Negative 7 times 1.1 is our next one. Okay. Well, first of all, I don't worry about the signs. 1.1 times 7. I put 1.1 on top because it had 2 digits. I put 7 on bottom. Basically, if you drop the decimal out, you're asking yourself, what is 7 times 11? Which might be doable. Or 7 times 1 is 7. The other 7 times 1 is 7.
So wait, I got a question.
Okay.
Would the answer be 7.7?
Mm-hmm. And why is it going to be 7.7?
Just 1 times 7.
How many numbers are after the decimal here?
1.
I don't know.
There's 1.
I just looked at the one that we did up there.
Okay.
That's how I got that answer. I was like, oh, this.
Wait, what?
This one is similar to the one we did up here.
Yeah, I looked up to that one.
Okay.
That's how I got it.
And, okay, so good. The similarity is that there is 1 number after the decimal here.
Yep.
1 number after the decimal here. So there's 1 number after the decimal in my answer. Okay. Jacob, is this negative or positive 7.7?
Yes.
It is negative because a negative times a positive is a negative. Okay. Next one. Negative 4 raised to the second power. Do we know what that means?
It's not multiply. You multiply the same number by how much?
Negative 4 times negative 4.
Okay. Yeah, that exponent of 2 says we're going to do negative 4 times negative 4. 4 times 4, I'm hearing you guys say, is
16.
16. And what did I multiply here? I multiplied a negative 4 times a negative 4. What's a negative times a negative?
Oh, but this is.
Oh, it's positive.
Yeah, it's positive.
It is a positive.
So it's just.
Now,
Wow.
I know some of you are calculator crazy. You love your calculator. Okay? If you enter this on the calculator, you have to put the parentheses around the negative 4 or it won't work. Okay? Your calculator would say negative 16 if you're not careful.
Oh,
I think if
yeah.
you was to put a negative like on one of them, you have to actually put parentheses.
Right, yeah.
Because like it won't let you put it just.
Yep. Okay. Negative 2 elevenths times negative 2 elevenths. How are we going to multiply these fractions? Well, I guess which way do you, okay. So one option is to multiply across. 2 times 11. 11 times 2.
Oh, so 24.
22.
I don't know.
22. If 2 times 11 is 22, then
Just anything I say is
No.
no.
11 times 2 is also 22. Work with me, guys.
Is there? There's more than that, isn't there? 'Cause I don't think
Yeah.
I remember that.
Now, Jason, you still with me?
That would be a no.
Hey, buddy.
Jason?
No, God. Can we all clap, please?
Oh, cool. This year.
Jason? What's a negative times a negative?
Positive.
No, I-
say that? You idiot.
You stole Jason's answer.
What the heck?
Wait. I didn't even know she was asking.
Oh, crap. He said Jason.
Okay.
I wasn't listening.
Okay, guys.
I was looking at the board. I was trying to figure out the answer.
You writing the notes down with us, please. A negative times a negative is a positive. Do I get to leave this as 22 over 22?
Oh, I think so.
No. What is 22 divided by 22?
I'm not good with it.
What is any number when you divide it by itself?
Oh, well, the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's always 1, yes? So if this is positive 22 over positive 22, this is going to now be 1. Are you guys interested? Do you guys cross cancel at all?
I've never heard of that.
What do you mean, like cross cancel?
So another way we could have done this,
Sure, if you should.
I think if you show.
I'm sure you've seen it, it just may not be your preferred. And there's nothing wrong with what we just did here.
Wait, is it when they you go
Cross multiply both, yep.
We're not cross multiplying though. We're cross canceling. What do 2 and 2 both divide by?
Oh yeah, that.
2 and 2 can both divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 2 divided by 2 is... What did I just do? There we go. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And on the other diagonal, 11 and 11. 11 divided by 11 is 1. And 11 divided by 11 is 1. So then my point is you're just doing 1 times 1 over 1 times 1, which is still 1. Just another option there. I like cross-canceling.
I've heard of it, but I don't ever do it.
But the nice, when you don't have a calculator, it's sometimes an easier process because you're working with smaller numbers. Even though it might take longer.
But couldn't you have done it without a calculator the first thing when you do?
I could. On this one, yes.
Yeah.
But not everybody could have. So, okay. Oops. Let's look at the next row. Okay.
My eyes were
Jason, do you know what that is on the 64? It's in your notes too if you can't see it up there.
Square root.
Square root, yep. Do you know what the square root of 64 is or no? We've talked about square roots. I have no idea at this point. Attendance has been so crazy in this class in particular. I have no idea who was here and who wasn't. We have talked about square roots one other day. I'm not going to assume any of you were here because I don't know who was here and was for it or not. But remember, a square root is what number times itself gives you that number. So when we're talking about the square root of 64, I want to know what number, when I multiply it by itself again, I'm going to get 64. Anyone know that number?
8.
Yep. You got it. So here we go. The square root of 64 is 8.
Could it have been 6 too?
No, because 6 times 6 is
Oh, you're
36.
talking about, I know. You're talking about 8 times 8.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about 8 times 6, but that's not even 64.
Okay, you're figuring your own out. That's good. So it's what number times itself. Okay, so as we look at this next one, there's a plus or minus sign out front. Guess what my answer is going to have in front of it then? That exact same sign. Plus or minus. That's what it's called. Okay. Now, over here, remember, it was 8 times 8 was 64. So the square root of 64 was 8.
I knew about that.
Now, we want plus or minus the square root of 16. What are you thinking, Caden?
4.
Does 4 make sense? So here's what you ask yourself. What is 4 times 4?
16.
4 times 4 is 16. So what's the answer to the plus or minus the square root of 16? Plus or minus 4. Okay. This next one says negative square root of 121. What kind of sign is my answer going to have?
It's negative, right?
Negative. There's a negative sign out front. My answer is going to have a negative. We got the easy part out of the way.
I got some.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, what is the square root of 121?
Negative 11.
11. Because 11 times 11
Yeah, we didn't have no time.
is 121. Okay. Now, this last one. Plus or minus the square root of 136. What's the sign that's going to be out front?
The same plus and minus thing.
Plus or minus.
Okay.
And if you see that in Math Excel, there is a plus or minus sign on your toolbar in Math Excel. Okay? Now, here's my suggestion. What is the square root of 1?
1.
1, because 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 goes on top. What is the square root of 36?
6.
You got it, Cade? 6?
Yep.
Because 6 times 6 is 36. So what's my final answer here?
Or whatever that sign is.
Plus or minus 1 over 6.
I don't know what to call it. Plus minus. Is there like a other name for that, or is it?
It is plus minus. That's all I know it as.
I've actually not seen like anybody use that. Plus
Neither
minus.
have I.
Yeah, I actually haven't.
So-
I've seen it, Mr. Rogers. I just don't.
I say you should have seen it in Mrs.
I
Rogers.
did not.
No,
see
And
actually,
here's okay, guys. Then you must have slept through lesson 1-6 because she uses the same exact notes I do.
Yeah, I probably did.
So you've had these same exact notes. So you've seen this just last semester, back in say August. You've seen this plus or minus sign. Whether you're awake, whether you're there that day, I don't know, but you've seen this. Okay, division. 48 divided by 3. Well, maybe the calculator Or, can we go old school here? 48 divided by 3. How many times does 3 go into 4? How many 3s are in 4? Just,
Wait, would it be? I think I know.
just 1?
Yes. Yeah.
1 times 3 is
3.
3. 4 minus 3 is
1.
1. Bring down the 8. So now, how many times does 3 go into 18?
6.
Yes.
3 times 6 is 18.
18 over.
So what's my answer? 16.
Negatives. Wait, is it negative 6?
I don't know, is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Wait.
Okay. And negative divided by a positive is a
Yeah.
negative.
Okay.
That one is lost me.
Yeah, it lost me.
Well,
Was-
and here's the deal. I showed it by hand. I know some of you guys are going to use calculators for parts of this. The calculator will do 48 divided by 3, right? So,
Sure.
okay. Here's the big deal.
How about checking?
How do we divide? Grab your calculator, not your phone to check.
Actually, I did that one.
Sorry. I don't want you guys using your cell phones as calculators in here because I don't want you on your phones. So I have calculators you can borrow or if you have a calculator. Okay. How do I divide fractions?
You lost the blood.
No. You might have been taught the phrase keep, change, flip.
Oh, yep.
Officially, what I should say as your math teacher is multiply by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of a fraction? And the reciprocal of a fraction is when you take the top and bottom of the fraction and you flip them. Okay, so in order to divide fractions, we actually keep the first fraction. So that means I'm going to keep negative 9 over 10. I'm going to change. What am I going to change division to? Multiplication. And then I'm going to flip my fraction. So I am flipping the second fraction. So negative 4 over 5 becomes negative 5 over 4. So we kept the first fraction. We changed division to multiplication. And we flipped the second fraction. Now, some of you are going to multiply straight across. Some of you might cross cancel. I don't know if you will or not. Maybe no one will. The advantage of cross canceling is I just don't have to reduce later. I'm going to show the cross canceling. I know a lot of you aren't interested, but I'm going to show it. If I cross cancel, here's the deal, guys. 5 and 10. What can 5 and 10 both divide by?
2.
Wait, no.
5 doesn't divide by 2.
3. No, 1. There's 1, isn't it? I don't know. 5?
Does 5 divide by 5?
I don't know.
Help him out, guys. Does 5 divide by 5? Yes, a number divides by itself.
Oh, right.
Does 10 divide by 5? Yes. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you here is 5 divides by 5 and becomes a 1. 10 divides by 5 and becomes a 2.
Wait. Now you're just confusing.
Then just multiply straight across.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And then you have to reduce that.
I'll just stick to the multiplying straight.
Okay. So what I'm going to, please listen, guys. what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply I'm going to multiply what I have left now. 9 times 1 is 9. For me, I have a 2 left here. 2 times 4 is 8. A negative times a negative is a...
Negative times what? Negative?
Negative times a negative
Positive.
is a positive. So right here, I have positive 9 over 8. And I'm done right there. Now, if you did not cross cancel, because you didn't like what I did, then you would have done 9 times 5 and gotten
45.
45. 10 times 4, 40.
I see. All right. So.
Now the problem is you have to reduce. What do 45 and 4 both divide by? And here's the deal. What did 10 and 5 both divide by? 5. That was easier to tell than 45 and 40, but they both divide by 5. So I would put this as 9 over 8.
Yeah.
Okay? But you can't leave it as 45 over 4.
I see how you get that.
Sergeant, you're making my brain overheat.
Okay. Try the next one.
Done.
8.1 divided by negative 9. Well,
Gosh, keep me. You ain't even. Oh wait.
guys, focus. 8.1 divided by 9. There's me setting it up old school if I'm not using a calculator. The decimal in 8.1 needs to be carried straight up. Does 9 go into 8? Does 9 go into 8?
Yeah.
No.
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 No. So I'm going to put a 0. Does 9 go into 81?
Yes.
9 times what is 81?
9.
9. 9 times 9 is 81. So, we have an answer of 0.9. Positive or negative 0.9?
Positive.
What is a positive divided by a negative?
Negative.
A negative. You have a paper right in front of you.
Dude, look. Look. Right there.
But you were right to try to get this.
Okay, guys. Real quick, we got to get through this.
We got one more.
Okay. First of all, we're dividing by a fraction. So let me ask you, what is 5 as a fraction? How do you make any number a fraction? You put it over 1. Now, what was the rule 2 examples ago? How do I multiply fractions?
You flip whatever it is.
Okay, we're going to keep the first fraction. So I'm going to keep negative 5 over 1. Division becomes, we're going to change division multiplication. We're going to flip. So negative 5 over 3 becomes negative 3 over 5. Now, I'm guessing you guys just want to multiply how?
I want it across.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just stuck at the part where you reduce.
So 5 times 3.
Negative 15.
We'll just worry about 5 times 3 right now.
Oh.
15.
But wouldn't the
Hold on.
Negative?
1 times 5. 5. And we actually have a negative times a negative. And a negative times a negative is a positive.
Oh.
Now, if you leave it like this, I can't give you full credit. Math Excel won't give you credit at all. What is 15 divided by 5?
3.
if I would have cross canceled, I would have canceled my same 5s out and just gotten 3 to begin with.
Oh, so doing that is quicker with some problems.
Yeah. You guys want to see? If you look real quick,
The ones that have the 1 in it.
if you have a 5 over 1, well, why it would have, whoops. The reason it would have been quick,
'Cause
look, please.
5 cancel.
a 5 and a 5 both cancel and become 1s. And then I'm just left with 1 times 3 over 1 times 1, which is 3.
3.
So that's why it would have been quicker this time. If you catch it, right? Okay, your homework is lesson 1.6 in Math Excel. If you have to use a calculator because you get stuck on certain things, do that. Okay? Get the work on the homework. I'll answer questions tomorrow.